We're going to talk.
I'm ready for that too.
You ready for
we
that
can talk
too?
some Red Wings.
Okay,
no
let's talk wings. No, let's talk about
Gordie Howe,
Lakers.
Stevie Eiserman.
Let's just start shouting out people that we know. How about this guy? I'd say that we want to talk Hornets and Lakers with you. Anthony Davis doing a little bit of everything. The block is hot early on, Jalen.
Absolutely, and this is what they're going to need the entire season from Anthony Davis. Not only terrific offensive play, but his defensive prowess. He has to be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year.
Third quarter, Davis keeps it going. They just keep feeding the beast. Quinn Cook feeds it to him with the dunk on the other end. He had 29 points and 14 rebounds on the night, fourth quarter, because let's be honest, it's not a Lakers highlight without a little LeBron from distance.
That's the key for LeBron. When he's knocking down his jump shot, especially at this point of his career, is going to open up driving lanes to not only score, but to get others involved.
Lakers win.
Meanwhile, how about this finish, Jalen? Nets and Grizzlies. Ja Morant, the second pick in the draft, down 2 with 12 seconds left on the clock. Look at him taking it strong.
I tried to tell everybody that young man had a real game. Don't let his sleight of build fool you. And he gets down in the defensive stands. Big block on Kyrie Irving late.
And that way it goes into overtime. Less than 4 seconds left in the OT. Nets are up a deuce. Morant up the floor. Who are they going to go for the bucket? Again, 3, 2, 1. For your game winner, Jay Crowder.
And that was a set play. You saw it happening in the backcourt with the dribble handoff action. Watch Morant with the little brush screen right there. Crowder steps up, knocks it down.
Morant had 30 Memphis wins.
How about Warriors and Thunder? Wow, was that a matchup a year ago? First quarter, Terrence Ferguson couldn't buy a bucket the first 2 games. It's very symbolic of this Warriors defense that he's able to finally get one to go.
AL, at halftime, it was 70-37.
It certainly was.
They were beating the brakes off of the Golden State Warriors. I did not recognize this basketball team wearing that color.
They were beating the brakes off them largely because of Dennis Schroeder as well. If you're looking for a bright spot in OKC, he certainly was one of them. As you mentioned, a 33-point lead for the Thunder. The tied for the second largest halftime deficit in the last 25 seasons. Third quarter we go. You can see the frustrations in particular here from D'Angelo Russell.
Got to be professional, young fella. Take your beating like a man. You got the big deal this offseason. Come and make a difference. It ain't the ref's fault.
His second career ejection. The Warriors get blown out again, and Draymond Green is coming for some throats.
The reality is we suck right now. And, hopefully we'll get better. We'll continue working at it and try to get better, but we're just not that good right now. Kind of figure it won't be the same, but I didn't think we'd be getting our ass kicked like this. It's pretty bad.
Comes to mind as you hear Draymond's comments.
You can't overreact after every game so very early when you're in a position of leadership, because Dre and Steph, they're going to be able to put this behind them and go on to have amazing seasons. But they have a roster of 9 players 23 years or younger that don't have 3 championships, that didn't play in 5 straight NBA finals. You don't want to destroy their confidence. And so a player like D'Angelo Russell, you added him. He was an all-star in the East, not in the West, and not a perennial all-star. So all of a sudden, without Klay Thompson in the backcourt, they're getting exposed defensively.
Well, look, they've been humiliated in both of their games, and the first one's against the Clippers. The Clippers might be the best team in the NBA. You live with that. The Thunder, at least we thought, might be the worst. So how do you explain, and I get it, you don't want to hear Draymond saying that after a game, I understand. But how do you explain this kind of performance against a team that is nowhere near the playoffs?
Well, they're terrible in pick and roll action, and that's what today's game has evolved into. And so all of a sudden, you're Steph Curry, you're D'Angelo Russell, they run into picks, and it's like brick walls. And then all of a sudden, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's penetrating, making plays for his teammates. Klay Thompson, while has been Team USA, a maximum player, All-NBA, All-Star, they're called the Splash Brothers for a reason. They complement each other really well. And Klay always defended the best perimeter player on the opposing team. That was a primary ball handler. He's not there anymore.
So it feels like every day is a referendum on everything. A big topic of conversation before the season. Will the Warriors make the playoffs through 2 games? What do you think is the answer to that?
If Steph Curry is who I think he is, I say, yes, they get into the playoffs. I'm not going to overreact just yet.
Who do you think he is, Michael Jordan?
well, he did something that Jordan has never done. That's been the unanimous MVP of the league.
Yeah, but that's because they make ridiculous rules.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Ridiculous people. Yeah. This team stinks. I mean, Jalen, they are terrible. The Warriors are terrible.
It looks like maybe they
I'm not going there yet. I'm not going there yet. I want to see what happens when they get Willie Cauley-Stein back. I need Draymond playing at an all-star level. We'll see.
I'm going to have so many suits from the bets that you and I have at the end of the season.
No, me and you got to bet on the Pelicans.
Yeah, we're going to bet everything.
Are the Pelicans getting into the playoffs?
Yes, they are. My whole wardrobe is going to get turned around. It's got to get Zion back healthy.
Let's give you a little eye candy, a must-see moment, if you will, from NBA on Saturday. James Harden, he's frustrated.
Jordan?
And a self-inflicted wound there. He slams the ball right in his own face, Jalen. I love this reaction, too.
A great craftsman.
What happened?
That's why a great craftsman never blames his tools.
Has this ever happened to you?
That has never happened to me.
It's happened to me figuratively. It's never happened to me literally. My entire life has been sort of that athletically, but no, I never actually.
No, this is a television, not a radio face.
Every time my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. to do this show, that's what it feels like. A ball right to the face.
He's been flawless with his execution of their offense. Him and Michael Thomas and their connection did not skip a beat. And I honestly think that 5 weeks off that he was not there is going to pay dividends with his arm strength near the end of this season. He will continue to have this offense humming for the rest of this season.
It was actually a better game than the final score would indicate, but yes, Breeze was spectacular. Daniel Jones threw 4 touchdowns and the Giants lost to the Lions. Danny, how are you evaluating his progression week to week?
I think the thing that's most impressive about Daniel Jones is that when he does make mistakes, because he's got them as a rookie, he responds. There's zero memory about, I just made a bad play. He's consistently aggressive with the football, and he's given his guys to go make plays down the field. That's his best quality right now as he continues to learn.
Also in New York, Sam Darnold, of course, his team was on the road, but he threw 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, and was sacked 8 times in a loss to Jacksonville. Dan, how about Darnold?
Well, he started off so hot. He, kind of put the IC Ghosts conversation to rest, and then he tried to make so many plays and threw some interceptions into tight windows, into tight man coverage. Listen, anyone who expects Sam Darnold to play consistently well this year is out of their mind. They are lacking in talent around him all over the football team and certainly on the offensive side. And he's got to try and get better with his fundamentals with all that around him.
Rex, I know you're a big Daniel Jones guy. Anyone who watched our coverage of the draft knows you liked him then, and you've been critical and questioning of Darnold. To this point, what are you seeing?
Well, I'm seeing a guy that hasn't taken that step that we thought he would. Everybody thought he would take a step forward. Some people thought he'd take a leap forward. Well, that hasn't been the case, man. You brought in the quarterback guru, right? The head coach, quarterback guru, and all that. And all I've seen him do is regress. Look, this kid is a super talent. Okay? He is. Daniel Jones is just a better quarterback. And so to me, Dan, you talked about it, until this kid's fundamentals get better, who, as a coach, isn't that your job to do? Coach this kid up fundamentally? Until those improve, he's not going to be a very good quarterback.
All right, yeah, but like this, why would you think they're going to improve? Adam Gase has had one really good year, and it was with Peyton Manning. So I don't know who's calling him a quarterback coach or a quarterback whisperer. Sam Darnold is not going to play well or get better around this team. That offensive line stinks. They're bad at communication. They don't have weapons on the outside. And you can't say Daniel Jones is a better quarterback.
Yeah, I
Why?
can. Easily I can. He just threw 4 touchdown passes. But I can do it because where's the weapons? You talk about weapons.
Daniel Jones got more weapons
all they
than
did,
Sam
no,
Darnold.
that's crazy. All they did was bring in. They brought in Crowder.
Evan Ingram.
They brought in Crowder. They brought in
Le'Veon
Bell. Oh, by the way, he's supposed to be pretty decent right there. And I'm sitting back. They got Anderson. They do this. They're playing without Shepard. They played without Golden Tate for most of the year, and Saquon Barkley. So how can I say it? Easily. I'll say it this year. I'll say it next year. In the next 10 years, this kid's a legit quarterback.
You think the Jets have more talent on offense than the Giants do?
No, I don't think any of them. I think they both lack talent.
Okay.
The one you just make. All we do is alibi for this team. That's all the hell we do.
I have to agree. And
the Giants, we don't.
The New York Jets look like a terribly coached football team. This is a team that was humiliated on Monday Night Football, needed to come out with fire in their bellies yesterday, and their defense laid down on the opening drive. Gardner Minshew went right through them like a hot knife through butter. And I said a few weeks ago, if you just watched Darnold and Dak Prescott play at the same time, you would have said Darnold was better. Yesterday, no one would have taken Sam Darnold over Gardner Minshew, who made the Jet defense look terrible yesterday. The Jets look unprepared. Their offensive line is a joke. Their game plan is a joke. Their acquisition of Le'Veon Bell is looking terrible because the coach doesn't look like he has any idea how to use him. And I'll tell you what, we had a one-and-done coach in the National Football League last year. I believe we are very well on our way to the other if the ownership is paying any attention to what's going on right now. Adam Gase has been a disaster thus far for the Jets.
Completely agree, and I expected it. And I would say this for both quarterbacks. We don't really know what either of them are going to be at the end of this year, because does anybody, if you're a fan of the Jets or the Giants, feel really good about their play caller, whether it's Pat Shurmur or Adam Gase? No, I don't think any of those coaches is putting the quarterback in a position to play really good football.
But Dan, I feel good about the talent. The thing too, look, the Giants right now, the biggest thing that separates the Jets and the Giants, expectations, obviously. Why? The Jets were supposed to have a fantastic defense. The Giants have a horrendous defense. The Jets are just playing poorly on defense.
Meantime, the Jets, you can add insult to injury with them, both literally and figuratively. We know about Sam Darnold and the Ghosts comments yesterday in Jacksonville. The Jags mascot, Jackson DeVille, came out of the tunnel in a ghost costume, trolling Darnold. You know what? That is low on the Jets' list of concerns, and it should be. But I'm sure Adam Gase will complain about it loudly in the media today. Let's talk about literally